So, what's really important about this conversation with you, I guess starting it off, is breaking the silence. And I got notes, and I'm gonna try to stay on them. We'll
Okay.
see.
All right.
But I guess for me and the audience, what gave you the courage to come out and speak publicly about the abuse that you survived?
Publicly, yeah, that would be another layer to me speaking out for the first time, which happened when I was 14.
Yeah.
And so the first time I told my mom, and we kind of went through the typical talking to authorities and, reporting the abuse at the time. But speaking publicly came actually many years later. The first time was at actually like a church camp. And
Wow.
so I had kept my secret really, my whole childhood. I was sexually abused by my stepdad, who was well known in our community, a faith leader. And for many reasons, I was afraid to tell. I didn't want to tell. And when I finally did tell, it shattered this whole perfectionist, people pleasing person,
Yeah.
this overachiever person.
Yeah.
It shattered all of that because I had felt like I was holding up this image of myself for so long because I wanted to hide the shame that was inside. When I finally did tell, I knew it was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But I was still afraid of what people would think about me. And so
What people would think about you.
I hid it once again. I vowed I was never going to tell anyone my secret again. And a whole year went by. Okay, after I had told my mom, and we can get into all of that if you want, but basically a year later, I didn't even tell my best friend the truth of kind of what all had gone down. I guess I should backtrack and say, after I told, my stepfather took his life. And that really felt like I had shattered this whole world that I had created and that he had created, because again, he was a well-known businessman, faith leader. And so I just decided I'm not going to tell anyone again. And I buried that truth about my life for a whole year. I hadn't even told my best friend at the time. And I was then invited to this church camp. I went, and the last day of camp, people were going up and sharing like some story about what had happened that week or something God had done in their lives or whatever. And I got up and I told my story for the first time. And so I would say that was the first time I told publicly.
Wow.
I went home feeling like, what did I just do?
Right, a vulnerability hangover.
Yes, girl. Because it was like crickets afterwards. I told probably 300 kids about this abuse I went through.
Jeez.
But this is the turning point for me. When the switch was flipped for me was when I came home and I started getting letters from other kids at that camp telling me their stories. Most of them had never told a soul, and they were saying, "Thank you, Nicole, for your courage to tell. I also am being sexually abused." And so that, yes. And
Whoa.
so I was writing back and forth like pen pals back in the day, girl. Like helping them to tell their story, tell somebody they trusted. And it felt like, wow, like telling my story publicly for the first time was so scary.
Yeah.
But it was like, if I could continue to find the courage to tell, I would be helping others to tell their story. So that's really where it all began. And then my senior year of college was when I first stepped out to do it for the rest of my life at this point. I've been speaking for 25
Right, you've been doing
years.
this for a long time.
Yes.
You are definitely not new to this.
Correct.
'Cause I tell my kids, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, right? So you are definitely an OG when it comes to like telling your story and really paving the way, being a trailblazer, as I like to call it, for other people who are experiencing abuse or have experienced it.